What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are being safe during these unusual times. It's been a while since we put out a video. Just a week ago or so we put out the photography series, which honestly, as per usual, I'm not too happy with those videos. We'll see if they remain on the channel. We'll see if it's beneficial, but I think I really need to work on organization when it comes to those videos, because it's just really hard to explain the topic when there's just so much to the topic. But today we're gonna break our boredom once again of this pandemic and head over to the garage. I've kind of set something up with my parents just to make sure that, you know, we just stay away from each other while I'm working in the garage and such and so forth. But what we're going to be doing is something I'm super excited for, especially in getting back to autocross. We got ourselves some coilovers, and I'm so stoked on these. Alright, so these are the Tein Street Flex Coilovers. These are not the Flex Z's, they're not the Flex A's, they're not anything like that. From my understanding, these are a JDM coilover, something like that. That makes it, it's just a little different than the other ones. They are 7K springs all around. It has adjustable dampening, adjustable ride height without changing your spring compression, which is extremely important. When we get to the garage, I'll show you guys the tire wear I'm getting, and it's definitely the lack of camber. So hopefully with these installed, it might kind of help us get in that direction of adding camber to the car. It came up at a really good deal, so I went for it. I've been looking for some coilovers to get into. My ultimate picks in this arena would have been something like Tarmac 2s, the KW V3s, but just the price range of those coilovers are extreme. I've never had a set of coilovers. And then also the amount of adjustment I didn't want to deal with, in a sense. I don't want a two-way coilover. I'm kind of worried about having a two-way coilover, having too much adjustment and not knowing what I'm doing. So I think this is a great way for me, even though I might be buying twice here, I know. But this still might be a great way for me to learn the ins and outs of coilovers before I move on, to see what I really like and what I don't like, etc. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys when we get to the garage. There's a few other things I definitely want to make a video on in the near future. One being the lens that we're shooting on right now. But we're going to save that for a future date. I really just want to get this done, add this to the channel, because I feel like this is a great piece of the archive for building out the car, for sure. You know, it's the pivotal moment of throwing coils on the car, so I can't wait to check it out, see how it rides and all that. Wait, let's get to it. We made it to the garage. Had to move around. So much stuff. As usual, we do not have that much room to work with, but we're gonna make it work regardless, because we have to. But the one thing I wanted to show you guys too is on these wheels, how bad of wear we're getting. So these are directional, obviously. They move this way. I don't know if you can see here, this left side is taking all the beating, and this right side is like almost brand new. So this is the outside tire, the outside of the tire, obviously, and it's getting all the wear right now. So a little bit of camber would help kind of even it out and get us onto this front plane, and just get more grip overall, get faster, and be able to squash some people at autocross. So I can't wait for the next event on these coils. With the wheels and tires, it's gonna be great. But that's enough procrastinating for me. I'll be back in a minute once we have some work done. Alright guys, so let's get under here and see what we got. So the very first thing we're gonna do here is undo a tie rod end, I believe is what it is. It attaches to the strut bar, the front strut bar here. We're gonna remove that. That is a 17mm socket with an extension, obviously, to clear this. Hopefully we're gonna use an impact and not have to use the Allen portion. We're gonna find out on that. There's a few lines over here we need to remove with our screwdriver. So this line in particular needs to come off of the body. Then back here, this brake line also needs to come off. I will go over the specs once we get to that portion. Then these two bolts here. Then after that, we can go on the top and go ahead and remove the entire thing altogether. So we're gonna get to this one now. All right, so I got my heavy duty machine gun here, and we're gonna see if we can do this. Oh yeah, baby, right away. All right, next part here is we're gonna go ahead with this brake line. It is a 12mm bolt, and it is in the back here. Oh, that's kind of an annoying bolt there. Yeah, the extension definitely helps a lot with that, that's for sure. Looks like there's a washer that stays on top. It's like welded in. Yeah, it's kind of like a weld-in washer. Now that this is loose, we can move on to these clips here. All right, so I figured out the bottom one, guys. I just used an extremely small, what do you even call these, pliers? Yeah, pliers, duh. Extremely small pliers. Then this, I'm still struggling with, but I might have just figured it out right there. Yep, there we go. Just push it in, comes right out. So you push right into this little hole here with your screwdriver, and it should release that clip. I'm really glad I didn't continue winging it there, because man, I was about to mess something up big. Now these are loose, we can kind of move them off to the side just a little bit so we can make room for getting these off, which we need a 19mm for both of these, I believe. Hell yeah, impact worked. And I lost the bolt. Can we get in here with an impact though? That's the question. Just barely can get into that bottom one. So now it should be, yeah, that's pretty loose. Take this bolt out. Make sure you're holding on to the strut here, or the brake rotor, while you're doing this, because obviously this is now free and it can come right down, and you don't want to let it slam down. You definitely want to let it down gently. Those bolts came off like really easy compared to my last car. Make sure these don't snag on anything either. You can see I'm snagging on that clip already. Here we go. Now we can just gently, ever so slightly let it down. Now we're good. All good here. Now we can remove our tie rod end as well. Set that off to the side. And I believe we're ready to go to the top on this side and drop this coilover. So that is exciting. Yeah, I come up here to these 12mm bolts. All three of these, remove them. And while I'm removing those, I have to have my hand down here holding the strut. So oh, that was so dangerous. We're not gonna do that again. Now we just have the last bolt to make sure you have a good firm grip down below. Oh, it's a heavy bitch. And she's out. All right, so the last thing I want to mention before we start throwing this back together, this little clip here was originally on the other coilover, as you can see it here. It's got some tabs all around it. The two tabs you actually need to worry about are the smaller ones, and you can wedge your screwdriver in right into these little slots. There's little slots perfectly on each side that kind of allow you to get your screwdriver in there, your flathead, and then be able to remove this out, because this does need to get transferred to here. All right guys, we're gonna start reinstalling. Make sure you have your camber plate aligned correctly. So it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. We're gonna feed these through the top. pretty, this is a challenge in itself right here. Oh. We're already halfway there. I could just drop it right now, but obviously I'm just a little apprehensive. I have PTSD from doing those lowering springs a while ago. Yeah, I did. I think I officially accomplished not lowering my car whatsoever. I'm happy with it for now. We can always change it later on. Alright guys, we got the back of the car all jacked up. I swear in the front, I managed to not make any difference at all. I'm pretty sure I either raised the car or it's the exact same height as stock ride height, so we'll see. But anyways, first step, get your coils out of your trunk. It's usually a good first step, you know. Can remove this mat, just comes out really easy, obviously. We have 4 clips on each side. We have uno, where is it? Dos, tres, catorce. I don't know how to say 4. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on each side. Once we get those up, then we'll have access to the towers, which are around there somewhere. And then we'll be able to get under the car and start working down here on these bolts. So hopefully the rear is a little easier. I think it is, but who knows? We're about to find out. All right, so once you have everything moved to the side, it is a 14mm bolt on both sides here. We're gonna loosen these guys up. Obviously, the bottom is still attached to the what is it, lower control arm. So this thing's not going anywhere, even if we undo it. So let's just go ahead and get these undone. Love working back here. Way less of a chance of me throwing a bolt into an unknown area. So now that we're down here, we're going to be moving this right here. And let's just stop it there. So this is not the first bolt you should start with whatsoever. The first bolt you need to start with is right here, attaching to the subframe. Then you move on to the, let me think here, roll bar end link. I got it right. You can't make fun of me for that. And then third, then you go after the coilover. I spent way too much time trying to figure out how to get this out with the rest of them installed. For some reason, the write-up I was reading didn't mention anything about loosening the other bolts, but I've seen countless videos where they do loosen these up, swing it down so that this has room to come down and out. So just wanted to stop me there before I led to more confusion, and that's pretty much it for the install. So that's it for the rest of the install essentially. Remove the 3 bolts as I said, 1, 2, 3. Then you can pull this out safely, reinstall your other coilover up into the frame, get a friend, or in this case my mother, to reattach the top. Then you can work on reassembling all of this and torquing it down to spec. I'll leave links in the description to the write-up that I followed, and just a quick Google search can get you any torque values you might need. And now we can skip forward a bit in time and just move on to finishing up the install and also checking them out for the first time, taking our first ride on horribly aligned suspension, but it really wasn't that bad. I got to get a good feel for it. So catch you guys in a bit. Yeah, I definitely raised the front on accident. Whoops. So the rears look so good. I think the rears are spot on. I don't know if I'll end up changing it. Probably let the alignment shop change it. But the fronts, unfortunately, my little adjustment to make it really high in the front probably wasn't the best idea. I don't think it's, I think it was probably fine. It was a modest ride height, most likely, the way it was set. So I might adjust that in the future, in the next few days here. But I just want to see now how this stiffer suspension feels. And like, to be honest, I felt it literally immediately. When I turn the car over, usually you feel the shakes of the engine kind of move the car around. I literally don't feel that anymore, and it's pretty sick. Even right now, like, wow. Gotta give it some sauce every now and then. I'm probably gonna pull like a quick UE real quick. Maybe that'll kind of help me feel the shift in the car. But overall, it feels great. It feels much more pointed. Like when I go to turn somewhere, it feels like I'm going that direction much more affirmatively than prior. Prior, it just felt kind of like a general guidance, like, hey, you should go this way. But now it's like dives into where it wants to go. So let me do a little quick U-turn here. It feels fucking great. The way it turns right now is like amazing. Really, really good. I am stoked on this. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the damn comments. If you are new here, go ahead and consider subscribing if you feel like it. We come out with new content roughly every week, as long as I'm not lazy as hell. But I've been doing it, you know, I've been pretty consistent. I've been like somewhat consistent, like in an average way. So it's been really, really good. But yeah, coronavirus, hopefully it's leaning out as we go along now. Hopefully we'll see some events popping up in the near future. I have a few more video ideas, so I'm not completely out of ideas yet before I have to jump into the archives of old footage and old events. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very, very optimistic. And that's about it. I hope you guys are feeling good, feeling very optimistic. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you're being safe in the quarantine, all that good stuff. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.